Welcome back. I'm Pete, and you're watching the Custom Car Channel.
Brought it to me last night, and he said it's got a little hitch in this video.
Just needed more power.
She don't move. Gonna have to heat it.
Hey guys, I was just bored today, and I got everything done, and I was just taking the last 2 days off anyways, but I was getting kind of bored and just thought I'd do a video. I was kind of planning on this video anyways, so I got everything out that I was going to do this video for, so I want to put it away because tomorrow's work day. Anyways, I thought I'd show you guys some of my homemade tools. So I think we'll start out right over here. So this is a big long Phillips screwdriver that I bought from Menards, and I made a built hook tool for putting on serpentine belts. So I bought 2 of them because I wanted to leave this one as long as I could, which is fairly long, and it's not too long. So I bought another one, cut the end off, and I welded that on here. Then I made this one into like a lineup tool. So yeah, repurposed. Some of these are just repurposed. So those are those 2. I made this one out of an old Craftsman screwdriver. I don't know why, I just never warrantied it. And now they're China made. But it's just a bit holder screwdriver. And it looks like I got a little worm when I pushed that in there. These 2 are some old Craftsman screwdrivers. This one I made originally. Let's do one at a time. So this one I made originally to pull the little hook off the GM window cranks. It works perfectly for that, and I use it for a bunch of things like pulling off sparkly wires. And these are them orange handled ones, and I think I bought them on the bottom shelf at Sears for $1 a piece, and now they're worth, if you could find them. If I'd have known that, I'd have bought them all. So next, I have this wrench that I made. It's a 15 on one end and an 18 on the other. And back in the day for the TH125s and the 440 transmissions, this worked really good for bell housing bolts, especially the torque converter bolts because they were really thin. And I could get this wrench up in there and get them out. I've actually had so much torque on it over the years, like it's bent it right here a little bit. Here's just I used this back in the racing days for the race car. It's just a 3/8 I'd used to snug up the oil pan and time covers and stuff like that. I don't know why, but I used it. I don't think I've used it since. Here's a little stubby ratchet that I made, repurposed. So got these at Walmart, and I just cut one off. I use it all the time. It's better than paying $50 for a snap-on. Oh yeah, and this little screwdriver, I've made this a long time ago, but it's got a little hook in it, and this works really good for getting out the red locks. I use it all the time, and then the oil screen down on the Chevys in the back. So I'm just trying to give you guys some inspiration, like maybe you guys could build some of your own tools instead of buy them. Here's some lock picks. We'll try these out later. These are the 2 picks, and then this is like a turning tool. And this one doesn't work as good. It works more for like house locks and stuff. This is kind of one that works good for padlocks and stuff, all kinds of stuff. Here's a flashlight I made. One of the LEDs burned out on me. It's just got a switch on the end, and underneath the heat shrink tubing, which I haven't had it off for a while, but underneath here there's 3 AA batteries. This is a good tool I made. It's a little power bank. I put a little jack right here so I can plug it in to your cigarette lighter. If I change your battery, it's a memory saver. Also made a little adapter so I can plug it into your OBD2 port. And then sometimes I got it on the bench and I'll just use it as a power supply. It's only like 11, a little over 11 volts. And I don't have the back insulated, so gotta be careful. This is I made this at one of the places I used to work, but it's just a tripod adapter for a camera mount. It's like a dovetail, and I use it for cameras and stuff. Here's a little angle meter I made. I don't know, I used to build like homemade wind turbines, so this always came in handy. This one's interesting. I made my own pliers. So the reason I made this was I changed a breaker panel live. Here's a little choke cable that pulled out of something, so I made a little hook out of it. Here's an emery flapper. So you just cut a slot down a piece of metal. This one's straight 1/2 inch. Here's like a carbide scraper I made, so I can change the bit, and that's just a mill bit, lathe bit. And this one's very sharp. It's like razor sharp, so. Here's an aluminum scraper I made out of a piece of 3/16 by 3/4. It works really well. Here's another carbide scraper I made out of a lathe bit, or I don't know what you would call them, end pieces. They're carbide. We'll just go around this way and then come back this way. So here's a spanner wrench tool I made, and it can swing out. I use it on everything, but the last thing I think I remember using it on is a Heisen clutch. But these can come off to give you different diameter pins, and then you can use this side. This is back from when I used to rebuild a lot of engines. It's just a cam installer for a small block. Here's one of my first brake tools. I made it myself, and then you can have these screws unscrewed or screwed out to grab onto the piston. Oh yeah, I made one of these. So this is a damper installer for a small block. This must be an oil pump priming drive for a 3800 or whatever takes a 5/16 shaft. And then I'll just move the camera over here. Maybe that's what we'll do. So here's some wrenches. I didn't make these, but a guy made them for me for some fan clutches. Here's my snowmobile, Polaris snowmobile clutch removal tool. So this is just a 3/4 18 bolt. And then I don't know what this pin is for, but it's a hardened pin. So I just slide that in there and then crank the bolt in. A little doodad I made out of a spark plug to put some air in the cylinder. This is back in the day when there was 2.8 and 3.1s. To change the spark plugs in the back, you'd have to rock the motor head, take the dog bone mounts loose and rock the motor head. This would, you just take them loose on one side. This would hook onto the bolt and go into the motor mount part of the other end, and it would hold that motor all the way so you can get back there to the spark plugs. This is a little jig I made. I've always wanted that spring loaded. It is, so you cannot, but it is loose and floppy, but it does work. I used it today to hold some wires to solder them. So I made a starter button, and I made it so you could hook it to So this is the cable for a power probe. So I made it to go onto there. So this is the short part of it. And then you can put an extension for a power probe. So in case you got to go a longer distance. Here's a test light I made. This test light only draws 20 milliamps, and it's good to 24 volts. But let's try it out. So we'll try it out on the power bank. Maybe I can just pull it out a little bit like that. I'm not sure if it's got reverse polarity in it or not, but I do use it. Here we go, we'll go like that. I'll just clip it on there. So 11.8, and there is an LED on there. It's supposed to have 4 of them, but only one's working right now. But it still works. Here's another test light I made. So that's a GM dome light bulb in there, the old style. And then it also can unplug. So this is like my a higher amperage, like circuit integrity test light. So I think it draws, I can't remember, a couple amps maybe. So I bought that original power probe. And I'm like, well, I can make one of those. So I made this one. And it just is supposed to be orange. And then that's power. And it sends power out to this little needle. And then that's ground. It sends ground out. So there's just 2 little switches with a circuit board. I don't use it very much, but once in a while it comes in handy. Okay, so this little screwdriver end is the handiest little pry bar tool. And it's kind of sharpened. But I either hit the end of it with a hammer sometimes, or you can use it to pry stuff. Just the handiest little tool. So I got a couple of those, and then this used to be all one ratchet, so I use this sometimes to put a socket on there, and then I can use my fingers. And then the other half I made a punch out of it. Here's a couple seal lip tools. I think I use these on power glides and, TH350s, 400s, and 700 R4s, whatever. So to put in to make sure your seal's all the way in around the drums, the lip seal. And then I got a couple. So this is just a light bulb. I bent the ends over, then put on some jumper leads. So it's a good circuit integrity tester. And then here's my 194 one. And then I made this because a lot of times they want an inline fuse when you test stuff. So these are just some parts out of an old fuse box. And then the jumper wires are double-ended. So like that. There they all are. And then these also can come off the fuse. They're just little jumpers. So this stuff all goes into my circuit testing drawer. And then we're getting down to it now, and that's good. So the first time I encountered a fuel pump module on a Chevy, it went bad. I made this. So if you're thinking the module's bad, which they're always bad because they get water in them, I just plug this in and it tells me if I'm getting power. And then it'll take key power with this little terminal right in here, the little one. And then basically what it does is it takes power from one side and connects it to the other. That's how they work. It's got a relay and a fuse on it. And I also have one for a Ford that I made. Oh, there's no LED on this one. You just put it in, and if your car runs, it's this piece. Okay. So that's some of them. I have a lot more. This is just what I found offhand the other day, and I just set them all out here. I mean, I got some stuff like these wrench holders I made. One over here on these. Made that one too, and then over here. So I made this one. This one just clips onto the top of the toolbox. So this one's just slid onto the top of the toolbox. Yeah. Now them wrenches are heavy. Whoa, doggy. And then this one up here, I think I screwed this one onto the wall somewhere. Yeah, there's a screw right there. Someday I'm going to get a toolbox that'll hold all these wrenches, but it's pretty handy having them like this. I like it. So there's a lot of other stuff I made too, but I just want to put all these tools back. So let's do something really quick. So I found this padlock in my dad's stuff, and I don't know where the key is for it, but it's this lock right here. So we'll go ahead and lock it. I'm just going to squeeze that in the vise a little bit. It's a lot harder if the lock is hanging there loose. So I'm going to use these two. And this is just a turning tool, and this is the... Gosh, it's just right on the top of my head what these little things inside this lock are called. I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to put this in here. You kind of got to wiggle it in. All the little tumbler. There we go. All the little tumbler keys, or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, that took me a little longer than normal, but I'm on video, I guess. Alright guys, hopefully you get some inspiration from my tools that I make. And oh yeah, that's what these tools here are for. So yeah, I guess I made this too. So I made it, put a roll lock adapter on it. So all I did is tapped a regular, or dyed a regular roll lock adapter to 6mm 1.0, because that's what this is. But you can just swap it around. But yeah, these tools here are all broken. That one's broken kind of bad. So it's broken. But it's an extendable one, so I'm going to try to make something out of this. I don't know if you got an idea for this one, let me know. Here's a broken off extension. Here's a worthless magnet. Here's like a broken off hone end. Here's a broken off bit. Maybe I'll weld that to the extension. No, I'm just kidding. Here's my Mako. The Mako guy won't stop, so I doubt he has one of these on his truck. But that broke off the other day. Here's a broken handle. This I'll probably just use the handle. Yeah, so if you got any ideas for those ones, just let me know. Alright guys, hopefully I give you guys some inspiration to build something. And if you build something, let me know down in the comments. Or if you got a tool you made, just let me know down in the comments. Alright guys, thanks for watching.